I'm here with Erin Keane, and she'll be running for president of SGA this year. Ann, can you tell me a little bit about your position?
Yeah, so I'm running for president of Student Government Association, and I've been in student government since my freshman year, and I'm currently on the executive board as vice president for academic affairs. And I'm really excited and looking forward to seeing what this year brings.
That's great. So what is it that you're planning on implementing this year that you're going to be president, or running for president?
Running for president, yeah. So next year is going to be a huge transition year for SLU. We have a lot of different things going on. We're going to have a new university president. We'll have a new food on campus as well. So I want to make sure that that transition goes really smoothly and that student voices aren't lost during that transition. Us as an executive board as well, we really want to focus in and make sure that students are aware of what SGA can do for them and establish a better relationship for students. Making sure that we're visible on campus and that student recognizes our faces and view us as approachable people so that we can better communicate with students and effectively do the things that students want us to do.
Yes, absolutely. So when you decided to run for president, how did you think that you might further improve on what the current SGA e-board is doing right now?
Yeah, I feel like since I'm on e-board, I've kind of like gotten a first-hand feel of how it is to deal with administrators and work with them and form and build relationships with them. And I think we've done a good job so far of creating an atmosphere where students know our faces more so, but I think there's more to be done. We kind of had a commitment to begin with that we would go as a group to a student event every week on campus. And we started off pretty well, but we've kind of fallen from that. And I want to make sure that that continues as well, but also hosting open forums or sessions every month so that we're able to see the student body and go out to them rather than having them come to us, which can sometimes lack people from coming to them. So I think that's one of the things that I'm really looking forward to, and I'm really excited about what we started this year and what I hope to continue next year since I am currently on the executive board.
Right, right. So with you being on the executive board now in a different position, how do you see yourself transitioning into being, in a higher position as president?
I definitely think I've started to build and form the relationships with key administrators that's going to be helpful for me next year. When this new president comes in, they're going to obviously wonder, okay, who is this Ann girl? Like, what do you know about her? And if there are key administrators that know me and know my personality and know that I am an effective communicator and I can build relationships and that I do have the students' interests best at heart, I think it's going to be very beneficial for me to be able to form and build a relationship with the new president. So yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's so wonderful. So I'm trying to think here, what exactly does the president do? What is your main, what is your main goal in being the president of SGA? I mean, you're like the voice of, our campus.
Yeah. So administrators especially see the SGA president as the voice for students. So if there's, for example, like on the search committee for the president, there's one student representative, and it's our current SGA president, Vidur Sharma. So that type of thing, if there needs to be a committee that they want the student to be representative on, they typically go to the president or someone on the executive board. And then also the student body president sits on PCC, which is President's Coordinating Council. So when the entire executive council, so that's all of the VPs, and then there's a dean representative, a faculty representative, and a student representative. So you're able to sit on that, and that's when all of the key decisions are made for the university. So having a student voice in there as well is going to be huge.
So in speaking for the student population, how much sway do you have in the decisions that are being made on campus?
I think students would be surprised at how much administrators listen to students. We are a student-driven campus. We have a lot of student leaders on campus, and I think that administrators really recognize us. If there's a student initiative or idea and there's a lot of support behind it, we can effectively change a lot of things. Right now, since I'm academic, we're in the process of changing registration and how that works, and that was student-driven and it has been for a while, but administrators are finally like, you know what, yeah, this is something that needs to change, and they're on board. So students can really make a change on campus, and I don't know if the entire student body really sees that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you know what, Ann? Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We're so excited to see what this next year brings.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited.
Yeah, that's great. Next, we're going to be here with Nicole Kim and Jaso Patel. Stay with us. I'm here with Nicole Kim and Jaso Patel. Nicole, we'll start with you. Can you tell us a little bit about what you're running for this year?
Hi everyone, I'm running for the Vice President for Student Organizations. So I'll be in charge of all the 160 CSOs on SLU's campus. And I pretty much help charter organizations and also unfortunately de-charter organizations and make that connection with students. And one of the best parts about working in my position is I get to work with the students, and that's just like something that I absolutely love and looking forward to.
That's awesome. Okay, Jaso?
Hi, my name is Jaso, and I'm running for Vice President of Finance, and that position is involved with working with every student organization on campus and working to provide funds for their organization. Funds are the most important thing for organizations, including their membership, and I want to work closely with student organizations to make sure they're receiving the resources they need to operate efficiently.
So in your positions, what are you planning on implementing for this next year?
I guess I'll go first. I'm definitely wanting to bring more of a personable connection between the students. I feel like SGA does a lot of things for SLU's campus, but not a lot of the students are aware that SGA is a big part. It's extremely important to have a student body to represent our student voice. I definitely want to meet up with e-boards of every student organization, possibly once a week or a few times a month, just to kind of get more feedback in terms of how we can improve as a student government executive board and what they exactly need from me as vice president for student organizations, and kind of like work well with some of the other members on the executive board so that we know we have a more collaborative connection with each other and kind of know what's going on with each of our positions. So.
Absolutely.
Awesome. So I want to work in bridging the connection between the Finance Committee and student organizations here on campus. Currently, there's feelings of disconnect where student organizations feel that they're not receiving all the funds they should be, or they can receive more funds, or things are not getting funded. So I want to clear that disconnect and bridge a connection between the Finance Committee and student organizations here on campus to make sure that they're able to get all the resources they need to provide the most benefits for their members and the SLU community. And I would be working closely with Nicole for any new chartered organization that's going through the chartering process to make sure that they also are getting the funds they need when they become a chartered organization here on campus.
Absolutely. So you said something a little bit about a disconnect. Could you elaborate a little bit on how both of you, as a team and as a board, are going to try to bridge that a little bit and make us more of a unified campus?
So basically, as an e-board, as Connect, we want to meet with all the e-boards of student organizations and provide them with each of our positions information. So as a finance perspective, I want to make sure that they are aware of the CSO financial handbook that was implemented this year. So they know the funding process, they know what things can be funded, what things can't be funded, and so they have more of a better idea of just the whole funding process. So this will alleviate a lot of the stressful aspects of the funding process. A lot of students have reported that the funding process is stressful, it's mysterious. So as long as they have those resources, we feel that the whole process will be more efficient and stress-free.
And kind of going off on that, I know a lot of the students, they complain about not knowing exactly what to do in terms of turning this form in, turning this in, and how to reach certain people on an SGA. And I think for me, it's effective communication. That's one of my #1 priorities, to make sure that I'm communicating with them very, very effectively, just so that they know what's going on. They know that they're in a warning period of getting dechartered because they didn't turn in something, or they have a diminishing board. So I just want to make sure that I'm kind of there every step of the way, and not just kind of leave a student organization into shambles, especially regarding the finance. I know a lot of student organizations have a tough time financing and finding the funds to keep their organization going. So I want to make sure that we're both accessible to them, and I think communication is the first step to making us more accessible.
Absolutely.
So.
Well, Jaso and Nicole, we really look forward to being with you next year, and the best of luck to you both.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, it'll be
Thank
great.
you.
So next, we're going to be coming up with Nico Romo and Dorian Villafranca. Stay with us. Welcome back. I'm here with Nico Romo and Dorian Villafranca. They're running for SGA e-board this year. Nika, want to start and tell us about your position?
Yeah, sure. I'm running for the VP of Diversity and Social Justice. Basically, I deal with different bias incidents that happen, sexual assaults that are reported. I'm also a co-chair of the Diversity and Leadership Cabinet. That's part of the job. And yeah, it's basically help promote and encourage a more diverse and inclusive SLU community. So.
Awesome. Dorian, how about you?
Hey, I'm running for the Vice President of International Affairs position. That basically deals with all international students, making sure that they're a part of the SLU community here, ensuring that all international students feel welcomed here at SLU, and just dealing with issues affecting international students in general and the international CSO population.
Great. So I'm not very educated on how that's happening now, on how you're getting diversity to be spread amongst campus and how you're dealing with the things that are going on campus. So could you give me a little bit of a detailed?
Yeah, well, something that is kind of an issue here is a lot of the students who make up, I guess, a diverse population of SLU have a really hard time staying here, whether it's because maybe the cultural differences or the financial problems that they have. So that's definitely an issue. It's like it's not just getting students at SLU in the first place, it's also keeping them throughout the years and supporting them however we can. We have the student support services that really helps with us in the TRIO program. So they all really are connected to helping students get here and stay here and make sure that their immersion into SLU is comfortable and that they feel like they're a part of the SLU community, because they are, but it's just hard when I guess the numbers aren't as big as the other population of students.
Right.
So.
And that's sort of what your position is in a sense also. So are there any specific details that you think you're going to be implementing this year?
Sure. So one of the problems we're facing right now, I guess, in the international population is that international students aren't necessarily well integrated into the population here at SLU, in a sense that they're not a part of a lot of the resources and that SLU has to offer. They don't make full advantage of it. For example, a lot of international students are not actively involved in CSOs and stuff like that. So I think that's one thing that we need to change, making sure that they become a better part of our community, reaching out to them, letting them know all the resources that are available to them, having them so they can grow as individuals and as SLU students in a whole, and just basically integrating them into the population here at SLU better. Getting our domestic students out there also, because I think that there's a great deal that domestic students can learn from international students. And so basically just trying to create a more cohesive atmosphere for all students here at SLU.
Yeah, absolutely. So I guess I'll close with a final question, and that is just how are you going to try and build on what has already been successfully worked on by the previous SGA board?
One of the things that I deal with heavily are the bias incidents that are reported on campus, and that's going to be kind of my focus this year, because I think a lot of students, well, first of all, there are a lot of bias incidents that happen that don't go reported, and I know that the difference is that a lot of students don't really know what a bias incident is or how they report it once it happens. So definitely educating incoming students and current students about the ways that they can do that and watch out for them and where they're most prevalent, and that way people know that these things are happening and we can kind of work to stop it from happening.
Yeah.
So.
In my part, I guess, one of the things our current VP is working on is creating a council that has representation from all international groups on campus. And I think going forward with that, getting input from them of the things that are affecting the students in their organizations can be a great way to proceed. Just getting feedback and communicating with everyone to make sure that everything is okay.
Absolutely. Well, thank you guys so much, and the best of luck to you.
Thank you.
When we come back, we'll be speaking with Tommy English and Drew Rosenhaus. Stay with us. Welcome back. I'm here with Drew Rosenhaus and Tommy English. Guys, can you tell me a little bit about your positions?
Well, I'm running for Vice President of Academic Affairs. So that basically is like the students' voice to any administrators that have anything to do with academics. So my main job is just to represent student needs and wants and concerns to the administration.
Awesome.
Hi everyone, my name is Jaso and I'm running for VP of Internal Affairs. The easiest way I can explain it is like the HR position of SGA. So I'll help senators and committee representatives connect with one another in addition to starting a program, like a shadow program for first-year students so that they can see what SGA is all about.
Great. So what are you guys planning as a committee to bring to SGA into our campus this next year?
Well, mainly connection with other students is a priority. There is a little bit of a disconnect between senators and other senators personally, so that's what I'll try to tackle.
The main thing that I'm going to be looking to do is to have more of a direct contact between students and the administrators who deal with academic things. A lot of students have a lot of problems with academics and things that they talk about, but it never really gets to the administration. And even like the rare occasions when it gets to us, it might not still get to the administration. So just trying to make that contact more direct and a lot easier for students to utilize.
Right, so I've been hearing a lot about this disconnect that's happening on campus. So if you guys don't mind, could you tell me a little bit how you're planning to bring that disconnect sort of, more connected and to kind of implement that onto?
With regards to the senators, there is a little bit of disconnect. There isn't as much productivity going on between the senators. It's a lot of individual work right now. So what I'm going to try to do is, currently, right now, there's a association reform task force that is dealing with committees personally, trying to make them more connected, intertwined a little bit better. So I'll be working with that and trying to enforce that new structure and make sure that structure is implemented correctly. That's one major goal. In addition, just making it a more personable atmosphere in Senate, possibly calling each other by our first names so we actually know each other a little bit more. So making that connection a little bit more personal to each other so that we are comfortable with other senators.
Absolutely.
I'm going to try to make just more of like a easy and concrete way for students to contact administration. So that's going to look like evaluation forms for the academic advising process so that the administration can start to see like what, like on paper, like what concerns students have about their academic advisors so that we can start to find ways to improve not only the students' knowledge about academic advising and how they can kind of help their advisor by knowing a little bit more themselves, but also help the administration know what kind of things academic advisors need to be focusing more on so that they can help their students succeed. So it's going to be things like that in a lot of different areas that I'm going to try to implement.
Absolutely. So in keeping with the question that I have asked your previous e-board candidates, what is it that you guys separately and together are planning on improving on in what has been already going on here at SLU?
Well, for me, that is basically increasing our productivity within Senate so that other senators can feel accomplished so that they can accomplish more tasks that they want to take on.
For me, there's a lot of issues with academic advising and also with registration that have been going on for a while. We haven't seen any big changes to help students with those issues. So with the new president coming in, definitely hoping to get those issues solved. There's a lot of room for big change. So.
Great. Well, you know what, Tommy, Drew, we're really excited. I think I speak for all of us when we say that we are really looking forward to working with all of you next year. Coming up next, we will be hearing the SGA results from Becky Killian. Stay with us.
Hey guys, my name is Becky Killian and I currently served on the Election Commission this year and I will be here to read you the election results. It is fair to mention that we had a lot of write-ins for senatorial positions. Unfortunately, none of those write-ins met the 25 write-in requirement. So in the case of a non-contested, in which there were no senators listed for those positions, in the case that there were many write-ins in those areas, none of them met that level. So those positions, specifically the positions in the Boise College of Health and Sciences, College of Education and Public Service, Philosophy and Letters, Medicine, Nursing and Commuter, those seats will actually be interviewed by the future VP of Internal Affairs in his committee in the following year. With that being said, I would love to announce first the senatorial positions that were elected. From the Graduate School, Ethan Shavers. From the College of Public Health and Social Justice, Paulina Minicello and Mike Degnan. In a very close race in the Parks College, Brian Kovarik and Benjamin O'Donnell. In the John Cook School of Business, Carson Jones, Evan Bugner, Benjamin Bierman. In the College of Arts and Sciences, there was 3 winners right off the bat: Liz Stark, Ryan Wong, and Andrew Sullivan. There was a tie for the 4th senatorial position between Kat Carroll and Kevin Lynch. So actually those 2 will actually go into a runoff election. We will give you more information, the Election Commission as a whole, on when that will take place relatively soon. In this situation, both of those candidates, Kate Carroll and Kevin Lynch, will run just in their own school. So they'll have probably about a week to campaign on their own, and then whoever wins that runoff will get the 4th senatorial seat. And finally, without further ado, I'll announce the executive board winners. For the Vice President of International Affairs, Dorian Villafranca. For the Vice President of Diversity and Social Justice, Mika Romo. For the Vice President of Student Organizations, Nicole Kim. For the Vice President of Academic Affairs, Tommy English. For the Vice President of Finance, Jaso Patel. For the Vice President of Internal Affairs, Drew Rasnowski. And for President, Ann Knezetek. And thank you guys so much for your turnout. Good night.